Reverend J.D. Grigsby Jr., and it's a joy to be before you this evening in Washington, D.C. I'm here today to just express a message, a national message to this nation. I think the ones that are demonstrating without violence, I think America does need a change. But for a few moments, I'm going to be speaking on the topic, love and truth. And I'm going to come from Corinthians, the 13th chapter. This chapter pretty much basically talks about love. And it reads accordingly. If I speak in the tongue of men and of angels, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, and always hopes, and always preserves. Love never fails. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. And when I became a man, I put away childish things. And we have these three. We have hope, faith, and love. And the greatest of all is love. Love is what the nation needs. Love is what we need in this country. As I thought about this moment and thought about this day, many times I would look at this bottom picture in my office. 4 visionaries. These visionaries had their own belief and ideology on how the black man could live in America. If you don't know these figures, I will name them for you, and then I will come back and briefly tell a little bit about their ideology. First, you have Elijah Muhammad. Next, you have Malcolm X. Next, you have Marcus Garvey. And next, you have Dr. Martin Luther King. Let us start with Elijah Muhammad. His message to the African American was that we did not need to be mingling with Caucasian society until we learn who we are. Until we learn who we are, he felt it was imperative, because when you don't know who you are, you make bad decisions or bad choices, and you don't know the destiny by which God has put you on this earth. So Elijah Muhammad want the black man to understand who he is. Next, I'm going to go to Malcolm X. Malcolm X felt that in America, the Negro, the so-called Negro or African American, wasn't being given the freedoms that he or she deserved. So Malcolm X, what he wanted to do was to live in this American society and fight for justice and righteousness in his own way. But he felt as though that America only knew hate and violence. And so his basic philosophy is, you hit me upside my head, I'm going to hit you back upside your head. But as Malcolm grew, after he went to Mecca, he began to realize and understand that all white people wasn't bad. All white people wasn't racist. There's some good white people in this society. And he realized that. And I realized that if you have an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, people be walking around with no eyes and no teeth. The bottom line is that in this life, we got to learn to love each other. We are all in it together for ourselves and humanity. Next, on the bottom we have Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey said that the white man would never change. He would always hate the so-called Negro or the African American. We would never feel free in this society. We'll never feel free in America. So Marcus Garvey said, let us get the hell out of here. Let us build our own nation. Let us go back to Africa. He formed the Universal Negro Improvement Program Association. And that association was built on having economics within the African American community, have your own land, have your own organizations, and have your own businesses. Just like in Oklahoma, that elite is called the Black Wall Street. Those elite African Americans that had developed that community. You know, we talk about hate. Well, see, you gotta still talk about love. They bombed that community. And they ravaged that community. And nobody went to jail except the African American. We can look at hate. We can look at slavery. We can look at lynching. When I was coming up, I said the white man had his foot on my neck. Now he has his foot, has his knee on our neck. But with the petitions and with the boycotts and with the different things we are doing today, the NZ and also the millennials, when they protested, there are just as many white there as black. We all got to come together one day. And next I will move to the fourth and last visionary, the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King was impactful on my life. Matter of fact, Martin Luther King's spirit saved my life because I felt that God was too far and I had done so much wrong to be forgiven, but I wanted to do what I thought was right in this life. So I felt that if I can get some of His Spirit, I would be able to be at least a halfway decent man. King, his vision. I'm with his vision. His vision was the beloved community when we all come together as brothers and sisters. The beloved community is what we're moving toward today in 2020. There's a movement toward justice. There's a movement toward fairness. But we still have a lot of work to do. Sorry about the picture. It's kind of windy here. But this is my final segment of this program. Right here in D.C. in 1963, August the 28th, Dr. Martin Luther King gave his dream speech. He gave it because of the beloved community that I'm talking about. That community that we love. I can hear the echoes right now of 1963. I can hear him saying that we don't know how we're going to get it done, but we're going to get it done. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. So I say to you, my friends, even though we may go through the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of his creed. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with his vicious racist, with his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, that right down in Alabama, little black boys and black girls, little white boys and white girls will be able to hold hands together. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places made plain, and the crooked places made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we'll be able to hear out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jangling discourse of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we'll be able to work together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. That will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America's to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the hiding Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and hamlet, from every state and city, we'll be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, can join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last. Time.